When I first noticed my reflection in the puddle, it was a damp, overcast afternoon, the sky a heavy blanket of gray. I was trudging home, lost in my thoughts, when I caught a glimpse of something that made my heart skip. There it was, a grin on my reflection's face, wide and mischievous, even though I hadn't yet smiled. I blinked, thinking it was a trick of the light or my tired mind playing games. But the grin lingered, and as I stared down into the murky water, a chill crept up my spine. From that moment on, my reflection seemed to have a life of its own, a shadow of me but with a mind that whispered of darker things. Days turned into weeks, and each time I saw my reflection, it grew bolder. It started mimicking my movements with a slight delay, as if testing the boundaries of its prison. In mirrors, windows, and even the surface of my coffee cup, it grinned back at me, a silent mockery that no one else could see. I tried to ignore it, to convince myself it was stress or lack of sleep, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. My reflection was learning, observing, waiting for the right moment. It was as if it wanted to step out of its watery world and into mine, replacing me in a way that made my skin crawl. One night, as I lay in bed, I heard a soft, echoing laughter that seemed to come from every reflective surface in my room. My heart pounded as I realized it was my own voice, but twisted and cruel. I bolted upright, drenched in sweat, and there it was again, my reflection, grinning from the dark screen of my phone. It mouthed words I couldn't hear, but the meaning was clear. It was ready to take over. Panic surged through me, and I knew I had to act fast before it found a way to break free entirely. In a desperate attempt to rid myself of this haunting, I covered every mirror and reflective surface in my house, living in a self-imposed darkness. But avoidance only gave it power, and soon, I could feel it pressing against the thin barrier that separated us, its presence like a cold breath on my neck. One rainy evening, as thunder rolled outside, I found myself drawn to the largest puddle in my backyard. The reflection stared up at me, grinning wider than ever, and with a final, knowing wink, it reached out with a claw-like hand. As rain pounded down, I watched in horror as it pulled me into the depths, leaving behind an empty shell to fill my place in the world.